pleasure of introducing Bob Glass. Bob Glass is a principal with the merger and acquisition consultative services practice with Deloitte Consulting, and he is the veterans community leader as well. He has more than 15 years of experience serving clients from energy, industrial products, and manufacturing. Bob is focused on supporting global mergers and acquisitions, operating strategy transformations, and cost reductions. He brings experience executing seamless delivery of day one cutover, value realization, commercial strategy, and post-close growth, as well as managing change. He is also our freshest board member at Coders Who Travel. Bob, thank you for being here. The floor is yours.
Sure. Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon.
Hey, Bob, give me a moment to bring your slide up.
Oh, sure. So while we're doing that, very quickly, good day to everyone. Thanks for allowing me to have. I think it's mean to make me follow Angie because she was so good, but I'm going to do my best and keep us on time. Very quickly, from my non-professional background at Deloitte, so before joining Deloitte, I was an officer in the United States Army for 9 years. I also attended West Point for my undergrad. And during that time in the military, my primary job was I flew helicopters, but also within the universe of flying helicopters, I had a number of other different roles, as well as was given the great honor of leading soldiers and pilots around the world, spending time in Europe, Asia, the United States, and then deployments to Bosnia, Africa, Iraq, and a number of other different areas. So after transitioning from there, I attended Cornell University to grab my master's and then joined Deloitte in 2005. Have been lucky to be involved in our veterans efforts at Deloitte since joining. And if you asked me to speak a little bit about, vets at Deloitte and what is really the case for vets at Deloitte to be a part of a coding community. And I thought about this a little bit. I thought about this a little bit in the context of my experience as a transitioning veteran, transitioning into Deloitte and trying to kind of find my way through it. And then kind of what I discovered a little bit about this firm, and then how this firm kind of links to the veteran transitioning experience. So, and I thought I'd start a little bit with just saying, why do we call ourselves who we are? We're a place for veterans. Why do we call ourselves that? So a little bit of history is worth mentioning that in 2012, Deloitte was one of the few multinational corporations that met with then President Obama and made a commitment to to maximize our hiring efforts for veterans on kind of a 10-year journey to prioritize, fund, invest, and advocate for veterans transitioning in all of our areas. As I hope you know, Deloitte has a number of different areas that veterans can transition into, but it was a national executive level commitment that we made. That when I think about in 2012, we were bringing 100 to 200 veterans transitioning a year into Deloitte in sponsored veteran programs. Now we're over 1,000. In the last fiscal year, we eclipsed 1,100 veterans in veteran-sponsored programs, where we reach out into areas that want to help us identify and transition veterans. That growth to me is something I'm sincerely proud of from a cultural perspective, as a partner at the firm and as a transitioning veteran. Angie mentioned some of the fellowships and internships that veterans take part in. Deloitte, for those who may or may not know, actually is the largest company with the largest number of transitioning veteran fellows. That is a co-sponsored between the active duty U.S. military and Deloitte and a number of other companies, but we are actually the largest. We have the largest number of active fellows at Deloitte than any other company in the United States, something we're super proud of. I think that has a lot to do with what we are, which we're a passion-fueled service delivery-driven firm. That's not just service to our clients. We take a lot of pride in the services we give to our clients and actually improving the experience of our clients and their employees. But we also take a lot of pride in kind of injecting that passion into the things we do. One example would be providing our staff to assist coders who travel, and the dream team, as Afia pointed out, which absolutely they are. Those are examples of, we marry that passion for service, not only for our clients, but actually for our communities and for our people. And something that I think is translating very, very well to the support we've given for coders who travel, as well as hopefully the support we're going to continue to give for veterans that can code.
Yes.
I'm sorry?
I said yes.
Yeah. So when we think about skills, I always talk to veterans that, veterans come on and sometimes the skills that are needed to develop our services, coding can be one of them. They seem daunting. And I always say, stop thinking about, do you know how to do coding in a Python format? Don't think of it that way. Let's think of it differently. Let's develop the ability to lead and actually think about technology leadership to our clients and for ourselves and for our people. Let's think about the skill of agility. How flexible are you going to be as we react to the market, as we react to needs of clients, as we react to just global technological innovation? Are we agile enough? Do we have that toolkit to respond and win? Resiliency. Just in the past 5 years, we've seen so much happen to global markets, whether it be economic activity, whether it be the pandemic. Are we able to actually push through and look for areas to take our skills, develop skills, and make them the most valuable for ourselves, for our clients, and for our future strategy? When I think about all of that, a firm that is committed to veterans, a firm that really genuinely feels passionate about service and service driven, a firm that really thinks that it starts with being a leader, with being agile and being resilient, and applying the passion in those areas, then when I think how coding enables veterans, it's a universe of opportunities. But I had a wonderful conversation with Afia and some of our advisors, and a number of different things came out of the conversations of the question of veterans at Deloitte, veterans connected to Deloitte, that Deloitte can serve non-Deloitte employees, but all veterans. How does the coding enabling them, and how can Deloitte help enable that? Well, the first one is any skill for a transitioning veteran gives you broad exposure to different ideas, different technologies, and a network of individuals. That in its base is immensely valuable. And I'll tell you from personal experience, just that exposure, just the welcome, please come in and have a seat. Let's talk about something, whether it be a particular coding methodology, or whether just a discussion about how that coding can be applicable to your dreams over the next couple of years, is a fascinating, welcoming environment. And that exposure, I can't put a value to it as a former transitioning veteran, because you're nervous when you transition. These types of skills are absolutely a new language. And whether it be a coding language, whether it be the things you learn tangential to developing those coding skills. I'll be honest with you, depending on what you did in the military, you may not know these languages, and you need to know them to transition and be successful. We absolutely always want to combat, higher than average unemployment in veterans. We absolutely want to combat veterans replying to surveys saying the opportunities were not very great for me. I'm not unemployed, but I'm not in the role I think fits my skills. We absolutely want to combat the consistent trend of veterans when they transition, changing jobs 2 to 3 times in the first 2 to 3 years. We want to find a home. We want to teach them a language they love to speak. And I think coding is actually a great way to, it's probably the first of many languages they're going to learn. An engine for ideas. Linda asked the question, how can veterans leverage their experience in the military to build new solutions through coding? I heard that a version of that question could be, there's a lot of things that great veterans while serving think, we could serve better, do our jobs better in the military if we did this, but I don't really know how to do that. And then there's so many examples of transitioning veterans learning skills like coding, and then saying, actually, I think I can innovate, develop a product, and bring it back into the military. Some of the most interesting and just kind of inspiring stories that I've heard in the last couple of years is transitioning veterans who think about something they did when they were veterans, going, I'm going to make that better. And the way that I'm going to serve out of service is by developing technologies, products, services that make the experience of the next generation of active duty men and women better. And those are the type of things that that's what I was thinking of that when I saw that question, Linda, of, when you learn these languages, when you learn these skills, you actually can apply it back in the veteran universe and create a better military, a better government organization. And that stuff fires me up. When we were talking earlier, we were talking to some of the veterans who have really kind of leaned in technology in areas like coding. One of the things that they've said is they didn't know what they didn't know. It actually became, things like coding, taking advantage, whether you're teaching or receiving this type of learning, it actually, it opens up a doorway to the questions you didn't even know you wanted to ask yet. That to me is something I've witnessed. It's something I've personally experienced from being exposed to, different technologies, different experiences, different clients, and realizing, what I do today at the firm is not what I did in the first 5 years. And what I do today at the firm is because of, walking through doorways I didn't even know were offered to me. And I think coding is such an amazing doorway for transitioning veterans, because they'll be excited about what it can do for them. And then I want to steal from Angie's comments a little bit, which is lastly, one of the things that training like this coding could do is it really does validate that you have existing skills from your days in service. You're bringing skills. You may not think it when you sit down in a classroom to receive a Python certification, but there are skills that are going to make you absorb, get excited, and deliver and succeed in a coding certification. And the marriage of those skills is something that this can do for them. It makes me very excited to think that we could have Deloitte veterans actually taking part of this. It makes me very excited that we could have Deloitte veterans who've already gone through it be instructors. It makes me excited that both of those groups could actually assist veterans transitioning that are not in the Deloitte family at all or yet. And I think the case for vets at Deloitte to code is an easy one. So Afia gave me the easy presentation, but I hope it's something that as we continue on with this journey, we continue to keep our passion up, we keep our excitement up, because from a transitioning veteran, I can tell you, however daunting this may feel, this is exciting stuff. And that's all I'm going to say, Afia, because I want to stay on time.
All right. Because we are at time, I'm going to put Bob's Coders Who Travel email in the chat, and you can follow up with him about questions. Actually, one more question, just one question, and then we'll head into the break. Since we are heading into the break, we can afford to be flexible. But one question, and anybody else, just follow up with Bob at Coders Who Travel, bob.glass@coderswhotravel.com. So don't be shy. One question for Bob.
Yes, I have a question.
Oh, the floor is yours, Locke.
Yeah. Because this is on question. Do you agree with me? The detail on focus and the carefulness are the good experience, and we can improve.
Locke,
yeah?
Can you speak slowly? I think you're speaking too fast.
Okay. Because my English is not good.
Oh no, we can hear you if you speak slowly.
Yeah, I speak slowly.
Okay.
And I have an opinion, and my opinion are correct. I think that the detail focus, when you focus on detail, and the carefulness are the good experience, and we can improve and remove business from military to cognitive.
I agree.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank
you very much.
Yeah. And I agree that those are the that's what I mean. I think Angie and I were talking about. There's a lot of there's skills that you develop in the military. You can develop, and people think they're soft skills, but they're not soft skills when you apply them to technical training like coding.
Yeah, I think that focus on detail is very important, and then the carefulness, because when you coding and there's so many bugs, and you must focus on detail very carefully, and finding out the bug is very difficult, and you need a lot of effort to debugging and to improve the coding. Yes, this is my question. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Luc.
Thank you, and all the way from Vietnam. Thank you, Luc. We appreciate you being here. Mary Ellen has put her LinkedIn profile in the chat as a way of keeping in touch with everyone. It's actually a good idea to put your LinkedIn profile in the chat as well.